The Naked Gun returns in 2025 not with a reinvention, but with an unapologetic blast of old-school comedy that wears its absurdity like a badge of honor. Directed by Akiva Schaffer of the Lonely Island fame, this legacy sequel doesn't waste time pretending it's anything more than a 90-minute excuse for wall-to-wall gags. Starring Liam Neeson as Frank Drabin Jr., the son of the late Leslie Nielsen's iconic character, the film plays like a long-form sketch, thin on story but thick with punchlines. From the very beginning, The Naked Gun signals it's here for the laughs, not the logic. The movie opens with a burglar stealing a literal plot device from a bank, setting the tone for a film that proudly refuses to take itself seriously. There is technically a storyline. Frank Jr. is investigating a suspicious suicide that links to a villainous tech billionaire played by Danny Huston. Said billionaire plans to control every smartphone in the world with a sound that drives people mad. It's barely a plot, but it's just enough scaffolding for Schaffer and his cast to hang their endless string of jokes. Where this film really works is in its rhythm and timing. The laughs come quickly, but not frantically. Schaffer gives his gags room to breathe, letting audiences absorb the layers of absurdity. Sometimes a joke lands immediately, and sometimes the delayed reaction from the audience is even funnier than the setup. Even when a gag misses, the film never dwells on it. It simply hurls another punchline your way, keeping the pace zippy and the tone light. Liam Neeson is the comedic anchor holding everything together. Known more for brooding action roles than slapstick, he fully commits to the silliness without ever breaking character. It's that straight-faced seriousness that makes his delivery so effective. He's the eye of the storm in a whirlwind of nonsense. This is easily his funniest performance since his cameo in Life's Too Short, and he proves here that deadpan comedy might be one of his most underutilized strengths. Pamela Anderson delivers a surprisingly endearing performance as Beth Davenport, a woman investigating her brother's death. Her chemistry with Neeson works well, and her comedic timing is on point without trying too hard. Paul Walter Hauser also shines as Ed Hopkins Jr., bringing his own brand of charm as Frank's partner. The entire cast leans into the chaos without going overboard, which keeps the film grounded, relatively speaking. Stylistically, The Naked Gun is proudly retro. It echoes the sensibilities of Airplane, Spaceballs, and even Austin Powers, but it never feels like parody for parody's sake. Instead, it's a throwback to a style of filmmaking where jokes were more important than realism. The script makes room for dated pop culture references. Buffy, Clippy, and Sex and the City all make appearances. But rather than feeling tired, these moments come off like a loving wink to the past. Of course, not every joke lands. There are groaners. Some references feel like they are from the early 2000s, and younger viewers might miss a few punchlines entirely. But The Naked Gun doesn't care. It charges ahead with the same energy, trusting that if you didn't laugh at the last gag, the next one might knock you out of your seat. The film's greatest strength is that it knows exactly what it is. It isn't trying to reboot The Naked Gun for a new generation or deconstruct slapstick with a modern twist. It simply wants to make you laugh, as much and as often as possible. And in that mission, it absolutely succeeds. The Naked Gun is silly, over-the-top, borderline ridiculous, but also clever, surprisingly sweet, and packed with comedic performances that never feel lazy. It may be a sketch stretched to full length, but it's the kind of sketch you won't mind staying in for the long haul. Ask ChatGPT.